We live in a society that stresses constant productivity and peak performance. And with the rise of social media, we consume this constant feed of rich people showing off the highlights of their life. And because of that, many young people want to achieve greatness and become rich and famous in their 20s or even younger. And really, who can blame them? I mean, look at all the young people that we see in our feeds all the time that are wildly successful. You have the Charlie D'Amelios of the world, Kai Cenat, even Mr. Beast. And this is no shade on them at all. I mean, truthfully, I respect them all in their own way for everything they've done. They've all become world famous and amassed huge sums of money while being super young. So if you think about it, it makes sense. But those of us in a similar age group just feel like we're not doing enough and we need to get out there and grind and find a way to become rich and retire by the time we're 30. And it's crazy because even if we're doing well for ourselves, we have a good job, we're making good money, it just doesn't feel like enough when you compare it to all these other people. And by the way, I'm saying we because I put myself into that category too, right? Like, I've also fallen victim to that mindset of feeling like I'm not doing enough. I mean, take a look at Mr. Beast, for example. He's 1 year older than me, and he's the most successful YouTuber of all time. And that's why it's so important that we don't compare ourselves to other people. Because do I want to be as successful as Mr. Beast? Hell yeah, who wouldn't? Do I want to do what Mr. Beast does? No, not at all. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I'm posting videos on YouTube. I'm doing it consistently. I'm taking it serious. But I don't ever want to get to that level that he's at in terms of like every video has to be over the top. I guess what I'm really trying to get at here is that we're all on different paths. And even if we have similar goals to someone, that doesn't mean we have to do what they're doing or achieve things at the rate that they're achieving things. The truth is there's no time limits to any of this. The only thing that can hold you back in life is death and sickness. And if you're not dealing with any of those, then you're just in your own way. A great example of this is Henry Ford, who didn't start Ford Motor Company until he was already in his 40s. An even better example is perhaps Colonel Sanders, who didn't start KFC until he was in his 60s. So even though both of these men were older when they started their companies, they both went on to become super successful millionaires. So as you, who are in your 20s, perhaps even younger, you have plenty of time and you're definitely not falling behind. So I'm going to be 25 this year, which I guess you can say I'm in my mid-20s. And what I've learned during this time is that from age 18 to into your 20s, you're in a time of building and discovery. You're just entering the real world. You're away from all the people that you grew up with in school, and you're just trying to figure out who you are and what it is you want to do. And what you should be focused on during this time is building relationships, building experiences, and trying new things. Now, this doesn't have to be complicated. Just go out and meet new people, whether it's romantically or platonically. Just make sure that you are intentional about wanting to grow those relationships. In my experience, building meaningful relationships with people will teach you so much about yourself. You should also be traveling more. Now, a lot of people have this idea that every trip has to be international or to some huge tourist destination like Vegas. And that's not true. I mean, just go on a road trip once in a while, explore a new city you've never been to, and just spend a weekend away from home every so often. And as for trying new things, please, please, please just do it. And don't be afraid to fail. You want to start a new hobby? Sure, why not? Want to take in a business venture? Go for it. You want to start a YouTube channel? Join the club, I'll subscribe. And the great thing is that if you fail, you'll learn something and you're young enough to keep trying. You're also young enough that if you start something new and discover that you don't like it, you have plenty of time to start over. Now, if you start doing these things, I can't guarantee that it'll lead to some type of wild success out of nowhere. But chances are that if you do, you'll find something that works for you and that you're passionate about. Now, for those of you who do start doing these things, I also can't promise that the feeling of not doing enough is going to go away. It still happens to me sometimes. But in those moments when you're feeling down or discouraged, or like you could just be doing more with your life, I want you to remember this. Time spent in self-discovery and personal growth is never wasted. It's an investment in the most important project of your life, yourself. Now, you may be asking yourself, who am I to give you this advice? And truth is someone just like you. I also don't want to be stuck working 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And I'm taking steps to do that so I can escape the rat race. But maybe I'm just someone that's a little older, a little wiser, and I'm sharing what I know. But anyway, y'all, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. Maybe check out this video on why tomorrow is the worst day to start. And I'll see y'all next time.